How afraid are you of getting an injury and how that could possibly fuck up your life?
Yeah, you're being stopped from skateboarding, breakdancing, doing anything fun, because if you get injured, you're fucked forever. You can't go to work.
And so then you have all these people that say, well, we can make a kinder capitalism, a more conscious capitalism. It isn't gonna fucking happen. We need anarchy, we need socialism, we need communism, we need anything but more capitalism.
But wait, Brett. When you go to the grocery store, you have almost unlimited choice. You can buy 100 different types of cereals.
All made from the same stuff with different graphics on the outside.
All corn. It's basically just a bunch of boxes of corn.
That's capitalism.
It actually treats about 1% of the population like humans, and the rest of us like tools for those superhumans. You don't have any money, your bank account's low? I know where the money is. Jeff Bezos has it, the Waltons have it.
And they took it from us, right?
They took it from us.
We're just getting our money back.
Yeah, your work made that money. You deserve that money. That's your money. The 1% has never decided to do the right thing. That's why we have to take power and just spread it out among the 100% of people that exist. Can you imagine being that sensitive? Like you,
well, that's
like
what
that
they're
is the
PC as
ultimate.
Hey, you know what? This is the freest goddamn country, and it's so free that if you don't stand up, you aren't a free person. And goddamn it, boy, if you don't stand up right now, you ain't free. Because you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, I have the freedom to make you feel bad for doing the freedom. Just get up and say you love it. Just get up right now, Copernic. God damn it. It's It's so free that you can't do it. You have to. It's free because there's only one way to be. That's why it's free. So be that. Damn you. They don't have anything to live. I mean, their kids hate them. They don't have, all their money got stolen by banksters and shit. Healthcare's running through the fucking roof. Oh my God, have you heard the news? Kids are dying of kratom.
That's not true.
They're injecting it into their veins.
I don't think that's happening.
An ABC Action News exclusive. A mom says a popular herb killed her son.
The most recent death happened in early June. Kratom, also known as metrogenine, was one of 4 drugs blamed for his death.
This was like the devil's drug.
It really is just a green powder that makes people feel better.
Yeah, it's a leaf. It grows from the ground, you smash it up, you make a tea out of it, you throw it down the back of your throat, you eat some capsules, and you feel better, your mind's clear. And most people that use kratom don't have access to healthcare or prescriptions or any of that regular medicine stuff. They get it from local stores or online.
Let's do an example here. You're a young person, you don't understand how all this works, so let me explain this to you. When you get hurt in your older age, let's say you're 34, you work on a roof, you fall off and you crush your fucking heel, right? It's all shattered. The doctor 10, 15 years ago was like, that's fucked up, that really hurts. You're gonna need some opioids to kill that pain. And then the DEA says, no, you can't have those anymore. These doctors have to tighten up their prescriptions. And now you don't have any. You can't afford them. What do? You can take kratom. It has the same effects, it's less addictive, and it's more gross. So that even brings down the use. You're not gonna use it as much. Kratom kills the pain in your body. It also cures social anxiety.
The government's solution to stuff like this is always prohibition, which means putting more people in jail.
How big is your appetite for the war on drugs? I'm sure it's small. It's shrinking every single day. Don't let them continue it. Don't let them outlaw more stuff.
Good point.
Thank you. How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings, shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. How much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make space so that it just stays right there. Yeah. I have to switch it back, and sometimes I just want to listen to music on the Alexa, and then sometimes I have like computer shit I have to listen to.
Splitter right up there if you want and fix that.
All right.
Whenever.
That'd be nice. Hey everybody, welcome to Street Fight Radio. Wednesday night, it's time for a street fight. We just left the AEW Dynamite watch party. If you're in Columbus, Ohio and you don't have nothing to do on Wednesday nights, come watch wrestling with us. We'll be at the Elevator Tap Room right there on 4th Street. The DSA is there. Lots of other cool people come. We have a good crew coming out every single week. Wednesdays, 8 p.m. at the Elevator Tap Room. Watch wrestling with Street Fight Radio. I brought a goodie box tonight that had a bunch of cool shit in there. So if you show up, I will hook you up with some free prizes from stuff. You know, we just get so many things that cool stuff that people give to us that I like, but then I don't know what to do with afterwards. So come get some of that. Also, if you're in Columbus, Ohio, we are doing a live variety show, the Incomparable Street Fight Radio live variety show. We're going to do a live stream as well, but if you're in Columbus, we're bringing the Trillbillies to town. We're going to have the Garbage Brain University perform live. We're going to have Lindsey Martin with us. That's happening on December 27th, Friday, later this month. You can head to store.streetfightradio.com to get tickets to that. As always, discount tickets are available as well. Please feel free to help out other folks and take advantage of it if you can't afford the price tag. I completely understand. We're going to have a backing band with us, the Howling Commandos. We'll get them on the call-in show this week. I think they'll be our break band. But they're good buddies of ours, and they're going to give us that good old variety show feel. They'll be backing us up. It's nothing like we've ever done before. It's an ambitious project, but it's going to be a lot of fun, unlike you've ever seen before. Street Fight Radio variety shows happening in Columbus, Ohio on the 27th of December. Head to store.streetfightradio.com for tickets. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. You can always see the show. Jump in the chat. We have a unified chat. We got people from the Discord, the Twitch, the Twitter, Facebook, all of that, chatting along as we do the show. Just check us out Wednesday nights. What's the time? Around 11 p.m. And then on Sundays, we do the call-in show, 9 p.m. We're Street Fight Radio, the #1 anarcho comedy radio show on any station across the nation. We're changing everything, creating a flat earth where everything is possible, where the workers can get what they deserve. My name is Brett. My co-host is Brian. Thanks for being here, folks.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for
also.
speaking. Yeah. for
Yeah.
them.
Thanks for breaking in there, Brian. You know, finally decided to talk, right? How's it going, Brett?
Doing great.
Oh, I don't know how to start this show this week because I have an audio clip that I got on Sunday, and it's not too early, obviously. So I think early in the show is going to be the time where I do these things. A little bit of election coverage, just the
Okay,
early
right
part
off
of
the
the
bat.
show. We're going in. So Kamala Harris is out. She left. She's
Okay,
done.
she's done so.
A bunch of people are blaming the fact that people called her a cop on why she's done, but it's like, well, she was a cop. Like, she got a lot of people thrown in jail.
If people don't want that, we can't roll with that.
I know.
She was polling under 5%, under 2% the whole time, right? I don't
She
remember
wasn't
her
doing well.
Yeah, I don't
mean,
remember.
she's getting beat by Mayor Pete, dude. Like,
Yeah.
the floor cleaned up by Mayor Pete.
So,
Can you imagine being that guy? Now it's like the guy that
I mean,
seems like a front runner, you know?
in the narrative, yeah. I mean, they're telling us that.
He's a troop, which is, I think, one of the things they like about.
Right, but I don't think
Yeah.
anybody actually is behind him. I think they're like doing a lot of like extra help for him.
Well, that's another part of the news today. It kind of dovetails into two interests of mine, at least, is Hillary Clinton went on Howard Stern today.
Wow,
Talked for
that's
two
a
and a
big-
half hours.
Did you listen to it yet?
I haven't listened to it yet. I'll probably listen tomorrow. I don't have Sirius On Demand, right? Like, I never added it. I'll probably listen to it, though. I'm pretty sure I'll listen to it. Maybe tonight.
Yeah, get that
even.
free trial.
And, yeah, she blamed her loss on Bernie Sanders again.
That's cool.
Like, Howard asked if she had any ill feelings about Bernie Sanders, and she said she thinks it's his fault she didn't win because he took 3 weeks to endorse her, which I don't really remember him saying, like, up to that 3 weeks being like, don't vote for her if she's up against Donald Trump. But then, you know, she just said
Yeah,
that,
that's-
like, the Russians definitely wanted Bernie in that election is kind of what she said to Stern. And it's like, Stern's not a guy that's gonna, you know, because the thing you really, honestly, like, I don't care. I don't want to relitigate the 2016 election at this point. It's like too late.
But yeah, this isn't relitigation. This just sucks because, you know, now we know what her narrative in her mind, so that when she wakes up in the morning, she doesn't feel like she did anything wrong.
She feels like, she unfairly lost.
It's like, I did my best, you know, but these people stopped me. Bernie Sanders stopped me from succeeding.
Right, and it's
The
like,
Russians interfered.
right, and it's like Bernie Sanders,
He's just so darn likable. That's the problem. Is it's unfair because everybody else is focused on crafting a persona, and he's likable, and that's not fair, right?
yeah.
You
Well,
can't
that's
just be somebody that people will get out of their house and campaign for. You know, that's not allowed. You have to do it. It's like a class project.
right. It's the same thing that Trump won. I mean, you may see him as very unlikable, but he's more likable than the chuds he's running against.
Yeah.
You know, and like, that's why we all know that polling suggests that Bernie Sanders is the most popular politician in the United States. It's like, it feels like he should just have this now because he is like the guy, and it might as well just start doing it. But like, they are really doing everything they can. And this is why I have
Yeah.
a hard time.
You have a silly point of view of you think that's the way that you think things should work, but then you have to understand is that there's the other powers to control what actually happens, right?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think he could win an election, right? Like, I
Sure.
think he could beat Donald Trump. I just think him beating the Democrats, I mean, he's fighting the Democrats, you know? That's why it's hard for me to get, like, super engaged in sort of the election stuff, is because the guy that I think would probably be the best is, like, the whole world. I mean, his whole machine is tilted against him. It's like he's using, and look, I don't think he should run as a third party. I'm not saying, like, I mean, it would be cool if he did, but I mean, I don't think a third party can win. But, like, he's doing what he's supposed to do. It's just, they don't want it. They don't want, I mean, Obama said this week that he would have come out if Bernie's, if Bernie wins the primary, he's going to come out and like say something too. He had planned to come out and say something
He
bad
just
about
said, I'm going to
Bernie.
say something?
He did. He said, I would
like-
intervene if it looked like Bernie was going to win the primary.
Yeah, folks. I mean, yeah, I guess I've thought of that, you know.
Well,
I mean, I guess that's what I don't know. I definitely know all that. Like, you're reporting stuff to me that I heard before. They've
Yeah.
always been against him, and, you know, it's the same people as before that are in charge. They're not looking to, I don't know, they don't know how to book a good show. They don't know how to give the people what they want. They don't, like, the folks just go wild over something. They don't have to ride the wave to, like, success. They want to be in charge of planning it and controlling how people come to choose the Democratic president, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
like
it's just
pro wrestling. It's like the WWE thing.
right. It's what you said. It's just like it doesn't even fucking matter who's popular because they are gonna.
I mean, certainly try. I mean, certainly
keep trying.
do the votes, but they really are pretty good at fucking it all up. I watched that video from West Virginia where like every fucking county in West Virginia voted for Bernie Sanders, and they're all these super delegates that get to make the decision, and they all went Hillary.
Oh, Jesus.
And there's like this one brave person that made a sign that said every county went for Bernie Sanders, and they were talking when they're asking the one super delegate for a vote, she like puts the sign into the frame so that everybody can see it on live TV. She's trying to, you know,
Well, it's funny.
subvertise, you know, what's going on there.
I always like to try to get into the minds of people, and like I like Hillary Clinton and Obama, I think are two funny people to think about right now. In that, like, I would probably like be mad. Okay, like Obama is not a leftist. He never was, you know, but I think he wants to be one. You know, in his mind, he thinks he is one or wants to be one, and he's a guy. He's like, I'm a progressive guy. I want to do progressive stuff, but he never did any of it. And I think a guy like Bernie Sanders probably bums him out, you know? A guy that's like the most popular politician in the country, and he's running on like real fucking ideas, you know? It's like real ideas that they've been saying, like somebody like Hillary Clinton has been saying are impossible. They've been telling us this is impossible, why we shouldn't even try. And this guy is like popular because he's saying it. And I think it bugs him. It would bug me. I would be annoyed by it, you know?
Yeah.
But the reason I brought up election news is because I watched part of a speech with Joe Biden, who had a week.
Oh, God.
He had a week this week. First of all, he sucked on his wife's fingers on stage.
Which,
That's not normal.
it's such a stupid moment that, like, I mean, it is like, it maybe is goofy if you're like playing board games at the house and like with your bunch of your friends and your wife keeps hitting you in the face because she's talking too loud or something, but you're like in the middle of a stage and like everybody is looking at you, and I have to believe that someone has told him, like, tone it down on, like, the moments. Let's just kind of keep it regular, old, smooth sailing a little bit for a minute.
I lean, like, the opposite way in that I think nobody can tell him shit. You know,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
he's in charge of the thing. And I'm sure somebody has said, like, hey, man, if you don't act like a weirdo out there, you might do a little bit better in the election. But I think that he takes that as like, okay, that's criticism. I'll file that away and suck my wife's fingers on stage.
Haters are his motivators.
Yeah. So I got this audio I want to play, Brett, of a speech that he gave. You got to put your headphones in. And we're going to play a little audio from a speech that he gave. It's so
I don't know why you're doing
fucking
this to
weird,
me.
dude. It's so weird.
I saw that made me aware when I was in law school. Proudly for Holloway. Proudly for your dad. First African-American state senator in the state of Delaware. Everything about. And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap.
Wait,
And
what?
I love kids jumping on my lap. And I tell you what, the men They're now all men, the guys I work with down here. And they're all guys at the time. They're all good men. Most of them made an awful lot of themselves. And Earl Larkin had a rough time.
This is...
Some of you knew Earl.
Makes me feel bad.
I
feel bad. I feel like all y'all need to stop making fun of this old man. Like, this has to stop.
He's fucking weirder than like Facebook boomers.
I mean, just not fit for public speaking. Not somebody you put in front of a microphone and gather a whole bunch of folks there to have listen to what he has to say.
No. The part about how he just like inserts roaches in there is so fucking... I know about roaches. Okay. Like, what does that got to do with anything?
Yeah.
He's the guy, though.
He's not... that's hard.
There's no way, right?
I don't know how that can go on for much longer.
Why
is it getting good numbers?
Yeah, I think he's in the lead.
You need to get like a little... You need like a hat or like a piece of paper. You're an official... election. You're the election.
Here, I will look up.
I don't give a shit. I can't listen to some old man. I can't listen to that.
I know. And then, like, I keep picturing him against Trump. Like, if he debated Donald Trump.
Yeah. Oh, fun.
I mean, he would get steamrolled.
Yeah, he would get beat up.
But then he would also be like, all right, bub, you ready to go fisticuffs or something weird, you know? Or he fucking start sucking on his own fingers up there. Like, my guess is that he got horny on stage, which I'm sure, it's never happened to me, but like Def Leppard used to have sex with women under the stage during their concerts. So some guys get like turned on stage, and he saw his wife's finger and he was just like, I'm going to suck on that for a minute. Let her know I'm ready for later.
Sure. It's just one of those weird, to me, it feels like one of those weird moments where somebody thinks they're being playful and then everybody else aghast is just like, their mouths are dropping. Like, what are you doing right now?
So here's the poll. It's Biden's up 27. Sanders is 13. Warren is 18. Buttigieg is 12. Bloomberg is 3.
For what is this?
This is the Wednesday, December 4th.
He has double
polls.
Sanders?
Yeah, almost. Yeah. Yes, he does. Double Sanders plus 1.
Just because he's going to give everybody those blonde leg hairs that people want to rub?
Is
that his platform? Is that like everybody will not have roaches and will have blonde leg hairs?
You'll be able to rub his leg. He'll sit out at his inauguration in shorts
and let people just
dip him into Potomac, and then everybody will get to come and play with his leg hairs. He's talking about people playing with his leg hairs on like a stage, just talking to people. Hey, why doesn't he write a speech? These old guys get to this thing, right? Like, Trump's the same way. Obama wasn't this way.
You're kind of this way.
What?
A lot of non sequiturs and a lot of jumping around. Like, I think that you have a good way. You're good at like threading a whole bunch of things together. He is falling apart.
Yes, I'm saying,
like, Trump is good at, like, I know it's funny to make fun of, but like if I go and I check my references of like right-wing memes, I know what Trump is saying. You know,
yeah.
This is just getting into babbling.
It's scary. It was really weird that like it's gotta just be he was vice president.
Yeah,
but like
it is.
It feels like he's almost like they may not catch up to
Nobody's
him.
listening to that. I guess that the people that are into it just think it's a good idea and they didn't hear him say what I did.
He knows roaches.
They
didn't hear him say I know roaches.
That's
he's
just doing that like white people know about poverty too.
Yeah, well that's what he's saying. He's saying that I've spent a lot of time in like cuz he's up very I guess he's like really popular with like black voters. Well, but as in like over all of the other people in the party is what I'm saying, like as they're polling, and it's like like that's who he does go campaign.
He's twice as much as Sanders.
I know. It's crazy. It's because he was the vice president.
Yeah,
under the time where people felt like shit was the most normal.
I just give up.
I do too.
I give up. Because I am coherent enough to get in front of a bunch of people and make a compelling speech. And I can't believe that we are letting this guy go out loud and be taken seriously as a leader. And who could listen to that and be like, yeah, what this guy says. I want him in charge. I want him to make the decisions for my life. No, get out of here.
I mean, I guess okay, so we're going to assume that there's a certain amount of people who just feel like the Obama years were the last normal years in America.
Right.
And they just want to go back to the normal times, and that he was the vice president.
That makes sense.
But he's going to be on TV more, and when he talks, it's stupid. He says the dumbest fucking things. He said something about he was talking about domestic violence, and he was like, and we got to punch that problem and punch that problem and punch that problem. That's what he was saying. And it's just what the fuck? Why is that in your head? Yeah. He's just like an old guy who's never had anybody tell him that he's stupid. I don't think he's ever had somebody come up to him and be like, dude, just, let's write a speech and you read the speech, is how I feel, Yeah,
I don't know what we're supposed to do with that being an honest option.
It's fucking nuts. I mean, and we're the crazy ones, though. We're the crazy ones.
I know. People think that we're too radical or something because we won't just let that guy be the president.
We don't want him to be the fucking president. Now, all of a sudden, we're getting yelled at like we're weird dreamers.
Yeah.
So, last week, I promised that I would read this Big Lots thing that I got. Okay. And it is for union busting, Brett. Something we hate. We hate union busting. And, oh man, the loading on this thing. So this is a brochure that Big Lots has that starts out with the Big Lots big logo and says, proud to be union free, which is brazen. That's a brazen one to say to your employees. Granted, we all know that a lot of employees dislike unions.
Yeah.
Because they've never had a good experience, but that's stupid because there are good experiences to be had.
Yeah.
Sorry. Alex on tour with us, Alexander from Minion Death Call's in a union, and he was talking about how a lot of the people that I see who complain about unions that are workers are people who never used the union. You can file grievances and things will get done. And he's said that he's filed many grievances.
He says he files every single one. He says if a management does something that he doesn't like or doesn't in line, he just files it and they pile up and he gets credited out for him.
Yeah. And I think I think that's true because in my time where I was sort of anti-union was after Kroger when I got fired, and I felt like, the union didn't do anything for me, but I never went to the union. I never said, hey, I'd like to file a grievance with the union on whatever this guy said to me or something like that. I just never did it.
Yeah.
So maybe my experiences were bad definitely. Because I didn't do anything.
Sure. Your brief experience.
Well, yeah, that's the only union job I had.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the other thing about it is that most of the employers are also we think employees should be able to stick up for themselves. But that's why we got an HR.
Yeah.
The union sounds great. They never as openly as this being we don't do unions here and we're proud of it.
Yeah, they usually will say something like, we have an open door policy. And we will deal with you one-on-one.
Yeah, we like to think that, unions are great for certain industries, but not for us. We have a good thing going here. Everybody likes each other and an open door policy where you can get whatever you want done,
I have been told that in every job that I ever had, that unions are good for some people.
Oh, yeah, they're fantastic. Yeah. Have you heard what they did, in other places that wasn't here? Wonderful.
I wonder what...
We share that same passion for unions at other places.
I wonder what HR people tell themselves to do that part of that speech. Because that's the weird part. It's if you're saying that, then you know that being anti-union is bad. It has to be, that you're kind of sort of acknowledging that not having a union
No, you've convinced yourself that this is a better deal.
Yeah, and that you'll be fair, right?
Yeah.
Like that HR is a nameless, faceless bureaucracy, and there's no way it can be unfair. When really it's tilted against the employees, and every time. I mean, the amount of people I know that have been fucked by human resources, and we're saying like, if you had a grievance with the union, you could go to the union and have it taken care of. But if you go to human resources, you're just dealing with a person.
Flowchart.
Yeah, a flow chart, and it's just a person, and it depends on who the person is that you're sitting down with. But I've told this story before. I had felt that I was getting dinged on QCs when I was a cable guy because the guy didn't like me. And there were just things that I had done that he then claimed I didn't do. And so I went to the HR and I was like, hey, I had somebody with me. They saw me do that. They didn't bring back any pictures. Actually, it was something it was wrench tight. Something had to be wrench tight. And if it wasn't wrench tight, then you automatically failed. That it was over, you failed. And which is something you can't prove, really. And I had remembered specifically having somebody throw me up a wrench so I could tighten it. So I went to HR and I told them, I have been trying to get off this team for 6 months. I've been begging to get off this team, and the other supervisor wants me. And I think this guy hates me, and this is what I think's happening. And they went and told him and brought us all three. They brought me, the lead, and the supervisor into the office, and we had to have a conversation about it. And it was just like, that's not like how I would have handled this, and that's something that doesn't happen with a union. With a union, you have somebody to stand behind you. Like I got fucking ambushed. I come into work and they're like, hey, she wants to see you in HR. Patty wants to see you in HR. And I get in there and those two guys are sitting there and it's like, okay, well, never mind, I guess. Like it was sort of an intimidation thing,
Yeah.
Which is what HR is to me. HR is intimidating to me. I think they're there to intimidate, but they gave it a nice name. It's one of those like Blue Skies acts or whatever, like where they give something a really nice name that's really bad.
Yeah, I feel like in most positions it's all a metrics thing, and that HR is just the like absolute minimum requirement that there be some sort of human oversight before they kick you out.
Yes,
like it's just a way for them to be safe with their lawyers. Mm-hmm. That you go through all of these motions before they terminate your employment.
Yeah, I mean it also probably adds to like they're there to hire people really, and then sometimes they fire people, so most of their job is just sitting there and hiring somebody, especially in a lot of blue collar jobs I have where it was just like two guy, like if a manager and a laborer got into an argument, it often like ended in a little slap fight and then they were friends again and it never had to go to HR. It probably should have, but it didn't.
Yeah.
So here is the things you need to know section from Big Lots. You have the right to refuse to sign a union authorization card, not to support a union, and to oppose unionization.
All right. Good rights to know. What about the other? Do we have the right to do the opposite stuff, though?
They don't mention that, okay? It's funny because it seems like they're besieged by unions, which is good. Fuck Big Lots. There's a million Big Lots, right?
It's a scam anyways.
Well, it is now.
Yeah, it's a total scam.
It wasn't when it was Odd Lots.
Right.
Back when it was Odd Lots, it was a real fucking thing where they were selling odd lots.
Pallets full of wild shit for super cheap.
Yeah, now it's just all the same stuff as Target, but without the graphic design.
Yeah, it's just discounted. Like it's just like the Beyblades from last year. They buy them all from Walmart and distribute them amongst all the discount stores. All have the same shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Union members account for a very small percentage of the workforce, that's not like really a reason to not be in a union.
Well, I mean, if you're doing an idiot's argument, that's great. Like, not a lot of people do it.
Yeah, I mean, if more people did it, we would maybe consider it would be a popular thing, but this just doesn't seem people like it.
Yeah, get a jean jacket instead. A lot of people are doing that.
According to the, oh God, here we go, Brett. According to the Center for Union Facts, probably a very reputable think tank, 82% of non-unionized workers do not want their jobs to be unionized.
Oh.
Now, I think that question is probably asked in a very deceptive way. It's likely, would you like it if they took union dues out of your paycheck every month? And 100% of the time I would say no.
Right.
But I want to be in a union, so you can take it out and make me do it. And I would love that. That's how I always felt. Because, that was with the 401k. I was like, I just don't want it to come out of my check now. That's all. I don't care. But
you can't get it later though, unless it comes out now.
I know. I'm not worried about it. I'll just float on my charm. Unions are expensive for associates. Associates pay an initiation fee and monthly dues. Associates may also pay assessments to cover things like strike funds, legal fees, or building expenses.
Yeah.
Associates may also be charged fines for violating the union's constitution and bylaws, such as crossing a picket line, working during a strike, or criticizing a union official.
Well, yeah, that's the questions that they ask. Like, would you want to join an organization where it costs money and you have to pay for all of this stuff?
Yeah.
But wait, but if I join this organization though, my wages go up significantly, my benefits go up, I get more days off. Yeah, maybe I would. Maybe it would be nice to join up with these folks.
I don't mind paying into that.
Yeah,
I don't mind paying in for an increased quality of life.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get double time and a half on Thanksgiving, because this is one of the Thanksgiving places too that's open on Thanksgiving. I don't think they're open on Christmas, but I believe they're, of course, Christmas Eve.
Right.
Which I'm in. You guys want to hear this real quick before we go on to the next thing? I think that we should be down to only essential businesses from Christmas Eve till the day after New Year's Day.
Wow.
Only essential, and Big Lots isn't essential.
You're talking like a full everybody off, just like hospital shit.
It's too much of a bummer that everybody's got to work on Thanksgiving. It's so much of a bummer, man.
Yeah, I get it. I agree. I mean, it's this year I definitely had a great Thanksgiving. It was fun to be with everybody, but then it was like there was a plumber at my house. I didn't ask him to be there. My landlord hired him.
Well, landlord.
Yeah, hired them. But so there was a plumber at my house. There was somebody else that stopped for something, and I was just like, there's so many people that aren't doing it, which, I mean, I guess you don't have to, but it is like it was a day that really used to be like nothing happened. Like there used to be a tough shit day. Like if you didn't get anything, like you can get gas or you can get stitches if you get hurt.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, this is even in my lifetime. I remember, like, as an adult, everything was closed when I was like 20, 22, 23, and I would go to the gas station, and the only thing I would get is a DiGiorno, because that's all the food they had, and I didn't know how to cook. Like, I would put together a junk food meal at the gas station every year on Thanksgiving at the end of the night, because nothing else, you couldn't get anything else. Everything was closed. And one thing I think about a lot is that we should have days where nobody's doing anything. Like, it would be like a good community building thing. A couple days, a day a month, where nobody's doing fucking anything. You can give it any name you want to give it, man.
Barter day.
Yeah.
You can't do any transactions.
Yeah. You should
figure it out.
Well, it's even no transactions. It's fine, but I just think it should be like we should get together for more meals with big groups of people and like spend the day just fucking around. And if you did that one Friday every month, I think people would be so happy, where it's just that week you get Friday off on top of the fact that you're only working 6-hour days anyway.
Sure.
I'm moving it down to the 6-hour day.
Maybe
less. All right. In a union, you lose the right to this is the argument, everybody. In a union, you lose the right to directly approach and work with management regarding wages, benefits, and working conditions. How does that stuff work out for you now?
Yeah.
You must rely on third-party representation with no guarantee of improved wages, benefits, and working conditions. That is the shit. That is putting the second part there makes it even more there, because it's like I would rather argue wages, working conditions, and benefits with all the other people behind me on my side than I would just as me against the manager that doesn't have the power to do any of that stuff. Like, the manager can't just say, like, oh, you need health insurance? I'll just give you health insurance. Or you want a week off for vacation? I'll just give you that. There is no negotiation when you're just one person.
Yeah, and as someone that's been like one of the top employees at a place, you know, you go to bargain and they're like, the star system, you know, says that you don't get as big of a raise as you thought this year, you know, or like whatever their systems. They had plenty of things for me, like I could speak to them as much as I want, but they were like, well, we already have like a system in place though. Like, you don't actually get to say how much you make. We tell you.
Yeah.
Right? That was the only response I've ever gotten from bargaining by myself, is like, oh, no, you're not in charge of that. You don't need to worry about that. No. We just pay you. You get what you get, and you don't complain. You don't complain about it ever.
Well, it's funny you say that because, like, I've never even asked because I always felt like it was such a losing battle. You know? I guess if you're at, like, a small business and you get along with the person, that probably would ruin your relationship with the person. But, like, I guess there are some places that might have some wiggle room, but, like, I have just...
the non-corporate places, certainly.
But I've never seen a corporate place, like, try to offer more money to get somebody to stay. I don't think I've ever even seen that happen. Somebody comes in, puts in their 2 weeks... They all just, they're like, well, okay, well, that's your 2 weeks. Or sometimes they march you out.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't spent as much time in there.
With union representation, there's no guarantee you will end up with more than you started with. You could end up with more, less, or the same while paying monthly dues, fines, and assessments.
No, I like gambling.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like with a union, though, I mean, it's funny because they could, like, just look at typical union jobs and see that they make more money, you know? Like, these are not effective arguments, I guess, to me. They're stupid. Like, easily, if a union came in and answered these point by point like we are, somebody would look at it and be like, oh, yeah, this is dumb. You know?
They would do a lot better job than us.
Strikes can seriously affect your earnings. Associates do not receive a paycheck while on strike, yet are still responsible for paying their bills.
I mean, we have a really great anti-union sentiment in the country that people aren't even interested. This type of stuff just reinforces it. I think this is for somebody that's already a defeated person that has a job, and then they're like, I mean, you really want to talk about doing a union? They're going to take a little bit of your money. You're going to have to start doing strike funds. You're going to have to start doing, you know, potlucks for the crew. It's just going to be, you know, so much extra.
Yeah, I mean,
aren't you grateful for what you have?
These are really, it's odd that this is coming from a pretty big company because these are just the arguments that, like, your uncle makes on, like, Thanksgiving.
Well, they work. I mean, they're effective.
They do. Yeah.
I mean, these are the most effective. Like, these are just ones where people aren't going to investigate, and they're like, "Oh, I have heard that before. I have heard that." You know?
Yeah. Okay. So here you go. This is the last one. Big Lots is a union-free organization. We believe you have a voice in our company. You have the right to be heard and to approach management directly if you have a problem.
All right.
Yeah, but I don't. What use is that? You know, without going through a third party like a labor union. And at Big Lots, you don't have to pay for any of this. I mean,
yeah, you are.
That's the thing, is they think that, like,
every hour you're paying extra money to Big Lots.
I know.
You're not paying money to a union.
Yeah. They act like your labor is worth zero, though. A lot of stuff like this is kind of like, you know, we're just giving you money. You know, all you got to do is come here and work. We're just giving you money. We're even here, and we're actually the benevolent ones. And with me, I always looked at my relationship with my job as like, I'm giving you something, and you're giving me something. Even if what I was given sucked, I was still giving something to them. So they had some frequently asked questions on here too. So I thought we'd take a look at those. What is a union? Well, I can't wait to hear what Big Lots thinks a union is. A union is an organization of associates formed to bargain with the company regarding wages, benefits, and working conditions. Good. That's good. Unions are a business, and they make their money through the collection of initiation fees, monthly dues, fines, and assessments. What are the unions selling, though, Big Lots? Like, what? Like, it's not a business.
Right.
They're making you think that, like, you go to union, and, like, that's who it is. You're like, we're going to go get these guys. And, like, what we talk about is, like, solidarity between everybody. A union means that everybody there has everybody's backs, you know?
Well, no, yeah, but they're presenting it like it's just a business that comes in and everybody signs up to give them like $50 a month, you know? And
Yeah.
It's like they get away with it, like without providing anything at all.
Okay, here's the big question, Brett. Why
It's
doesn't-
like Hulu. It's just like
It
another
is.
Hulu.
It is. Why doesn't Big Lots support having a union? This is the question that I think we all want to know the answer to. So here we go. This is exactly what I saw at all of my orientations at every job, this answer. The culture at Big Lots is one in which a union isn't necessary. Our company has 4 key policies that are essential for building a positive and productive work environment. 1, our open door policy. Yeah, whatever. I don't give a fucking shit about your open door policy. Number 2, union-free environment.
Wait, hold on. Wait, this is the list. What is this list again?
The list of the 4 key policies that are essential for building a positive and productive work environment.
Okay.
Okay. So
We don't have a union.
That's one thing. No solicitation. Okay.
What does that mean?
Is.
It's all it says?
It just says no solicitation is one of the 4 key things.
They're just the assholes that have that on their door.
I mean, I don't really know.
We're the
what
type
they're
of people
getting
that
at.
put that stupid plaque on our fucking door.
That is a way to know a type of person. We're gonna yell at for that, but I'm just saying I don't like the no solicitation sign on the door. I would never do it. I just don't answer the door. You know?
Yeah.
Or I'll answer the door and just talk to him for a minute.
Sure.
Okay, so we got the first 3 here, and the last one is a harassment-free environment. That, again, is not something that has to do... Well, I mean, unions can help you if you're harassed, you know?
Yeah.
And these policies safeguard your right to express your opinions without fear of retaliation. Nobody believes that. Nobody believes that when you express bad opinions about a company, not bad, but like say that the company is bad, that you won't get retaliated on. Everybody I know knows that, like, if you say the manager's a dickhead, there's going to be some retaliation. That's just the fucking way it is. That's how management works. It might not, the CEO might not do it, or like the people in the main office might not do it, but man, when you get down there and you're talking about the store manager, he's going to retaliate against you.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is. I don't know. These type of things are like, this is the deal that they give themselves when they're at the top, you know, like the office worker people. But to tell someone that is working at the regular Big Lot store that's dealing with a piece of shit manager and like lack of training and like all the fucked up externalities of that, like everything that we watch Undercover Boss on the regular, right?
Yeah.
And you see how like we've all been employees before. These people do not get the fucking deal that they're talking about at all.
No, nobody does. I mean, when you talk about an open door policy, what are they saying? They are saying that you can go up to the manager of the store and tell them that you don't like the way the manager of the store is running the store. It's not like you get to go to like corporate headquarters or something. You don't get to talk to anybody that has any power to change anything like that.
Like, oh, you can tell somebody right to their face that you don't like the way that you can tell the manager right to their face you don't like they're doing their job, and it's like, yeah, that's awkward. I have to work with that guy the rest of the fucking week.
It's the fucking worst, man, because it's like I told you about my thing, and it was just like I only worked there for like 2 months or so after that, but it was like every day was just ice cold. You know what I mean? It was just like I would come in and get my jobs and leave and wouldn't talk to. I didn't talk to the guy at all, and it was just like he would only talk to me through his manager. So his manager would call both of us into the office, and then we'd have. So it's like I got two managers standing there for my open door policy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
These things are suck. They're just, I mean, all they have, what Big Lots has is a cutthroat environment where like the most greedy social climbers can gamify the fucking system to get the most benefit to enjoy the, you know, the Big Lots union free system.
Right. And it's like if you could explain to the other, I mean, it seems so easy to explain to the other employees, like, man, isn't Jeff's a prick, you know, and he comes in here, he acts like an asshole, and like the only thing we can do is go to Jeff to talk about Jeff, you know? I mean, I've said this before, like I had to go to a meeting one time, and it was 7 years I worked at this place, and I only went to one of these meetings ever the whole time I worked there. So this is not like a regular thing. This was like an extraordinary event, right? Where the CEO and the CFO came, and they got us in a room without the managers in it and asked us about the place, and we were fucking honest with them. And then for like 2 months after that, the managers were really nice, and then they just started fucking cracking down and fucking us over again. And it was just like, yeah, man. Like, I guess if your open door policy was you'll have one of those meetings and you will yell at the manager every 60 days so that this place is a decent place to work, then I guess we can do that. I can negotiate on that, you know, especially if I'm seeing the CEO. Because I think, like, I don't know, man. Like, just, do you think, like, it's hard for me to explain what I'm thinking in my mind, but it's like, I feel like I could walk up to a CEO and say, I want $20 an hour, and they'd be like, oh, whatever, fuck it, you know, take it. Like, but I guess that's probably not true. No. You know, just to get you out of their hair? No, but they'll fire you. They just get rid of you. Yeah. You know? Yeah, there's nobody I can get more money out of. You're totally
I can never
right.
imagine you asking or speaking to the CEO like that.
I did talk to him like the way I talk.
Okay.
Not like on this show. I didn't cuss and use the word like too much. I said what my problems were with the company very clearly. And
you know, complaining you're fine with, but asking for more, I can't see you pulling it off.
I'm terrified of that.
Yeah.
I am. I don't like I just feel like
I love you have like this weird like big wig from the movies idea where they're just like, get out of my face. Yeah, $25 an hour. Put it down, Quimby. Be Quimby.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so what should you do if someone asks you to sign a union authorization card?
Somebody in the chat said the no solicitation is that they're basically saying that like unions are trying to sell you something. Like, we're not trying to sell you something.
They are trying to sell you something, though.
Yeah, this bullshit ass take less than you deserve.
Yeah. So what should you do if someone asks you to sign a union authorization card? I say sign it. Then you don't even have to read it. Just sign the fucking thing, you know?
Yeah, just fight it out later with the union people.
Yeah, go to the union meeting. I've been in a lot of meetings with union people and leftists in my day now, or a lot of rooms with them, and like everything's negotiable and you can fight about it. Believe me, that's what they do. Always read and understand anything before you sign. I wonder if they like gave you time, you know. They probably didn't say that when they had you sign your employment agreement or any of that stuff. You know, the little thing you have to, like, you get your, this is the weirdest thing, and this happened to, like, all my jobs. They give you the binder that's the employee notebook, and on the last page, it has a thing that you have to sign, and they rip it off and hand it to them, so they have your signature on record saying, I read the employee handbook.
Yeah. What about it?
It's just, I think it's a weird thing to do. It just seems like such a school thing to do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, school definitely is setting you up for work.
Yeah, that's for sure. So always read and understand anything. Okay, so the next thing, if somebody asks you, tell your supervisor if you were threatened by anyone over the issue of a union or signing a union card. Remember, you have the right to say no. So this is Big Lot saying, like, sometimes these unions come in and they'll just threaten to whip your ass.
They'll throw batteries at you.
You know how they are. They'll just threaten to whip your ass.
I'm just, my wiring is so different. As soon as my employer rolls up on me and like puts their arm around my shoulder and is like, hey, we love not having unions here, right? Like, fuck all that noise, right? We're fucking doing so many good things here without them. Just me and you. I don't have to deal with like everybody else out there. Just me and you. We can work it out together, right? Yeah. When I tell you that you're not going to get a raise, it's just me and you, right? That's easy. You don't want an angry mob behind you that's going to, hold me accountable for that.
Yeah, that's so funny. Like, that should be a red flag to everybody that gets a job. It always was a little bit to me like, I guess it wasn't really, because I heard all these things and kind of bought the argument at all my jobs.
That's what I graduated
this is
shorthand.
college.
This is all shorthand to me.
Yeah.
Like the way I hear it is that for people with like the regular standard American brainwashed education, this stuff just is hitting the beats of reminding you once again, like, oh, well, this is why we don't want unions. This is why we don't do this. This is why, we're free. This is just like, it's hypnotic. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just ancient fucking program, anti-union programming,
Right. Yeah, sure. I got the next thing I wanted to do tonight is Reed Prudhomme on Twitter. Is a guy that's around a lot. And he's in the Facebook group. He's on Twitter, and I'm in chats with him and stuff. He found a real estate investor in Cleveland. Okay, and I'm gonna read his tweet. Thank you, Reed Prudhomme, for this. Holton Wise is a shitty real estate investor / property manager group that operates in Cleveland. Here's a sampling of some of the merch they have available on their Teespring account. So this real estate, yes.
Merch for the real estate company?
Yes.
They're the rock stars of real estate, I guess, right?
I mean, when we get further into this, yes, you will. We're going to be obsessed with this, people, after this.
What's the name again?
Holton Wise.
Can you spell it?
HOLTONWISE.
Okay.
So the two shirts that he shared, and this was so shocking to me. The first one says Slumlord on it.
Oh,
just
yeah.
like across the front.
Yeah.
And the other one is like the I Heart New York, but instead of New York, it's evictions. And this person owns property in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
And yeah, I looked in his store. I mean, it's unbelievable that he has a store, but he's like a house flipper guy.
Yeah, this is somebody that has a brand, right? They have probably an Instagram where they talk about how they're doing all of this. So they're selling this to other landlords. There's also been, we can revisit this as well because we've recently seen a lot of screenshots from these private landlord groups. Mm-hmm. There was one recently where someone wrote a post that was like, I do not know what to do, but this fucking tenant left a completely clean place, and there's no way I can tell them I can't give them their security deposit.
Well, why?
Is there any creative ideas where I can keep the security deposit? Like it was. Did you see that post?
No, I didn't.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, was it recent?
Yeah,
like
it was like a week ago.
Oh yeah, it'd be hard to find.
Yeah.
He also sells T-shirts that say "Eviction Crew" on them.
That's for a certain kind of faker on Instagram. I think I could see them, going this hard on it, right?
Right, yeah, and he owns property, and people are renting from him.
Sure.
And they also have a bright orange shirt that says "I got evicted, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt." So this guy has
Does he hand those out like when he evicts people?
I don't know. I mean, the prices are cheap on the shirts, I gotta say.
Teespring always is.
Pretty sure they're not union made by Holton Wise. But yeah, his name is even written #HoltonWiseTV.
Okay.
.tv. So he's a YouTube personality. Now, part of me thinks that a guy like this obviously is trying to get on like HGTV. But this is not the way to do it. This brand is not getting on TV.
Yeah, I mean, he's just taking advantage of the whatever. How big is the account that on Instagram?
I don't have the Instagram. Let me.
I can pull it up.
Yeah,
because I'm just thinking, like, when you go, I mean, when you're like, I'm just gonna sell these damn shirts, you're just taking advantage of it. I don't know, but that would be, HGTV could run in that direction, right?
Hey, real estate
to have
investor.
like a celebrity house flipper.
that likes that.
It's 44,000 followers, so. I mean, that's pretty damn good, but it's nothing like impressive.
Yeah. So he has a show he has some YouTube clips, and this one's titled "Make Money Investing in Low Income and or Ghetto Real Estate."
Wow.
Like this isn't the type of guy that gets to be on TV. I don't really know what he's doing. Maybe he should just be a fucking podcaster.
It's niche, man. No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's doing the just I can get a little bit of attention hustle.
Yeah. We gotta look at his he's got a Facebook page here. I mean, people have been hitting him pretty hard. He actually took a shot at the DSA. And you know what you were talking about earlier about that landlord thing? I saw this thing on Amazon Prime, the TV thing. There is a documentary called like Airbnb Nightmares, and it's not about owners at all. It's about the people that stay in Airbnbs.
Yeah, wild stories.
And it's just like, we're probably on that. No, but
we broke the drawer in a refrigerator, maybe.
We didn't break nothing. But when? Last time?
No.
Oh, that was the same one, the crazy one?
No.
Damn, we did 2 bad ones? Yeesh. We're not gonna be able to use that site no more.
Nobody spoke up though.
But anyway, we don't like using it anyway. I'd rather stay in a hotel. It's just when you have 10 people on tour, it's kind of like, okay. But anyway, that Airbnb Nightmares thing is like, I'm going to tell you the truth. I've had some nightmares in Airbnbs too.
Yeah.
As in like staying there. I don't give a shit about the owners. This guy also took a shot at the DSA and others. Oh, he's got Trump on his wall. Okay. This is a Trump guy, man.
Yeah.
Holton Wise Property Group. But yeah, it's they're really scuzzy. I encourage people to look into it. If I had more time, I would we do have time. I just don't want to I don't want to like play the audio without having heard it first.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
But here's one. In this episode of the Tenants from Hell show, we take you to another live eviction. So he does live evictions. And during the show, we hear the tenant, who drives a BMW, come up with every excuse in the book as to why it's not her fault that she was evicted. Holton Wise CEO James Wise wonders if the liberals will get as upset about this live eviction video as they did when they watched the Cadillac Escalade driving tenant get evicted live in episode 8 of the Tenants from Hell show. This guy's a piece of fucking shit. Like, this is a shit human.
But is he just a scammer? So he's like, he's renting to other scammer rich people, I guess?
No, he's a developer in Cleveland. He's one of the bigger developers.
Right.
So no, he's not just a brand, dude. He is really doing these evictions and stuff and making a show out of. And I think he's making all the money for the equipment that he's using to do this stuff through real estate. I mean, I think he's a successful guy in the field, in his field. But he's also like, this is a real piece of fucking shit.
Yeah,
like this guy's bad, man. Bad news. I can't fucking believe. I just can't believe he makes shirts that say Slumlord on them. It's who buys that? Ugh. Imagine if your fucking landlord showed up in a shirt that said Slumlord on it. Just picture that in your mind. You're standing there, the landlord comes up and knocks on the door, and he's wearing a shirt that says "I heart evictions."
Yeah. I guess the slumlord wouldn't be around. That would be like someone that would just be hanging at the bar and never going to their property.
True. I fucking hate this guy though, man.
Yeah, piece of shit.
Yeah, fuck you, Holton Wise Real Estate. I'm gonna watch some of your. I'm gonna watch his videos and bring audio to the show.
Yeah.
Well, let's get one more thing in here before we hit the old dusty trail, as I like to say. So this is Paycheck Warriors. It's a law firm, and I just want to read this thing. So what? Here's the thing: Rogue Fitness is being sued for wage theft.
Oh.
Which is they're a big deal here.
Rogue
over the
Fitness.
time. Rogue Fitness, the big building over there.
I know. I was for everybody. CrossFit has a sponsorship from them, and I believe the CrossFit Games uses Rogue Fit stuff. From the one I watched a few years ago, they were at least.
Right. It's a big deal when they moved here.
It's made in America. It is made here in Columbus, and they took over a gigantic warehouse in a neglected neighborhood that now is going to be turned into like $1 million,
Actually, they
redevelopment.
They put in a warehouse. They didn't just buy space. They had it all built from nothing.
Okay, so they built a warehouse.
Yeah, in a neighborhood that there's so many other things you could do.
Yeah, like a grocery store.
Yeah, that would really be something nice for that neighborhood. That's not super duper. So the complaint states that non-exempt employees working in the Rogue Fitness warehouse were not properly compensated for all the hours they worked, as they were required to work before and after their scheduled shifts without compensation and for failure to pay correct overtime. And they say if you work there's some there's a few contacts in here. Just message me if you need it. But yeah, Rogue Fitness stealing time from the workers, and that's a classic trick though that a lot of fucking jobs
That's
do.
most of the theft that happens. Is from them. Like they are stealing as much time as they can from the employees. That's where most of the money's getting stolen from.
I mean, how many times have you just been asked, hey, can you real quick do this on your way out after you've clocked out? And you're like, I can't be a dick about it. You know?
Right.
And like, there's just always a lot of pressure at most jobs to continually work, to not quit.
And not be a problem. Be like, yeah, I know you. You know what? It sucks. I know you get in a lot of trouble if I get overtime. So I'll clock out at 40 and just wrap this up.
Yeah. I've done that before. I mean, I've done it, and I'm not a work for free guy ever in my life. It was always like, nope, fucking, I'm off or I'm on. I wouldn't even take on-call shifts. Like, I am very much, there's 40 hours a week that I hand over to somebody.
Right.
And when I'm home, I'm not doing it. And that's not my job. So, Rogue Fitness and Big Lots right there in our fucking...
backyard.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they are in our backyard, too.
I don't know. Where's Big Lots? Ain't from around here, is it?
Big Lots... I think it is.
Really?
Let me look.
The history of Big Lots. I preferred Odd Lots, like you said. Odd Lots was a great name. I'm sure it didn't focus group well.
Yeah? Odd Lots?
Odd, yeah. People
nobody
like
wants to shop at Odd Lots.
I loved Odd Lots.
Really?
My grandma used to take us there all the time because you could just $5 you could buy whatever the fuck you wanted.
That stuff is not. I used to go there all the time with my neighbors across the street because their dad would send them there to buy Coke.
Oh, okay.
Just so much.
They should just have a big pallet full of it.
They would go in there like 4 times a week and buy a whole case of Coke. He was always caulking shit, He was like one of those guys that just constantly works on his house and none of it makes it better,
Yeah.
There was one point where he got a bunch of windows somewhere. He's the guy that gets deals, He would just be like, if this is a good price, I'm fucking taking it, And he got his hands on a bunch of windows.
Yeah.
And there was nothing he could do with them. You can't like install your own window. I guess you can install your own windows, but it's not something you do.
You got to get matching sets.
Yes. Yeah, that's also true. They were different windows. So what he did with them was their front porch had like a deck on it, and he took the windows and he lined them up next to each other so that they were all up on this thing, and it was just
All different sizes?
they're all different sizes, shapes, colors. It was just them sitting next to each other around their deck. So then it became like a warm place, you know. It was like a Florida room.
Yeah. Lots of light.
That was the craziest thing, man. That guy was always tinkering on his fucking house. That's why I don't want to own a house, because I can see myself tinkering on a house all the time.
Sure.
You know?
So this is someone actually, thank you in the chat. Who let me give him the proper thing. Who did
come
this?
on, give him credit.
Zerg Troll in the chat. Thank you from Twitch. I appreciate this. They found that from the Landlord Roundtable Facebook group. Has anyone ever had to give back the security deposit? A few months ago, my long-term tenants left my place in surprisingly good condition, and I racked my brains trying to find something they broke, and I couldn't fault them for a single thing. I think it was because it's a newly built apartment. Every other property in my portfolio was an older building with things that were sure to fall apart. It's got me wondering if investing in new properties is worth it or not if you don't get to keep the deposit. Sorry. That bad syntax on Facebook.
Oh my God.
It's got me wondering if investing in new properties is worth it or not if you don't get to keep the deposit.
Oh my God. That is,
Yeah, it's like,
she doesn't think that's
I get 12 months of rent, but like the baker's dozen is that deposit. That's that extra, little bit there.
Man, it's weird. I've gotten a lot of my deposits back in my life.
Have you?
Yeah, or like
Really?
a part of them, like half of them.
I haven't got a single one.
You've never
And I
gotten
got
one?
a single one.
Yeah, I got a couple, man.
Sometimes I just left the place a fucking mess and was just like, keep the deposit. That's how
Yeah.
most of it was like, you're going to keep that deposit. I'm not cleaning this shithole up. That's your problem.
Well, you know my wife, man. She even does the thing when you move into a new place and they give you that checklist and tell you to go around and check everything and let them know if there's any damage. She does that.
Really?
Yeah, I would never do that. That is just something that is way beyond me to ever do.
That's one of the, I've moved a lot of places too, and that's one of those things when they handed the checklist, I love like looking in the person's face and they're like, you need to fill this out and tell us, if there's any issues, and then you return it back to here. And I'm looking at him in the face and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm absolutely going to do that. I'm going to set aside like 60 minutes tomorrow afternoon to go through the house and write all of that down. And I just put that thing on the kitchen table and wait until 6 months when all the trash is piled up and throw it out with the rest of everything else.
I'm with you, dude.
I've never filled out a single one of those things either.
Me neither. It's too much secretarial
You're going to
work.
keep it. You're going to keep it.
Yeah.
You're going to keep the deposit. I'm not going to play your game.
I would be like, I mean, like, I would get them and for 3 days be like, I gotta fill this thing out, Oh,
Yeah, I know.
gotta fill this thing
Same.
out. Like, it was like every time you see it, you think I gotta fill this thing out.
They don't give a fuck though. Like I'm waiting for them to like pressure me into it.
They
like
never do.
I'm waiting for a phone call. Like, Brett, you looked at me right in the face and said you were going to fill that out. What's going on?
They never do that.
No, they're like, yeah, I don't give a fuck either. We'll just use it against them later. We'll just use it against them to keep the deposit.
oh yeah, I mean,
It probably is some sort of fail-safe thing that they get to keep the deposit.
really, I guess I am being naive because so I got the deposit back on my last apartment. So these aren't apartments that I lived in when I was scuzzy, like my apartment before this, I was already like sort of doing better when I moved out. So like it would have to be my this place would be the other thing, but I don't think I'm getting my deposit back from this place. Like this seems like the type of place I'm probably not getting my deposit back from.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
What are you gonna do, man? It was only $900.
You could hire a lawyer for a few thousand to get him to litigate for you.
Yeah, that's what you can fucking do. And most people just figure that money's gone. I mean, at least the way my brain works is like, if there's money,
No,
then
they
I'm-
win. I mean, I do have to say, we're both defeated here. None of us is standing. Like, you should fight back, but it feels so fucking hopeless. There's just no way that I see that working out.
Yeah, I mean, the way I think of money is that when it's gone, it's gone. I never like count on ever getting my money back from something. Like,
Yeah.
Like if I was an investor, I would. My philosophy would be like just invest and that money's gone now, and then maybe I'll get it back someday. But I'm not. I will not. I just don't believe in sending your money out and it bringing more money back with it.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like a fucking fantasy to me. Jason,
Yeah.
do you fill out those sheets? No.
No, Jason doesn't fill them out
do it
either.
either. Huh? You ever gotten a deposit back?
I got a partial one time.
Yeah.
Partial deposit.
Last month's rent to make up for the deposit, right?
Yeah, but Jason's got a point there. You cannot pay the last month's rent and keep your deposit.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but your rental history is like a real fucking shitty. It's weird that record's out there, you know? Where it's like, God damn, man, people can look up my rental history.
Yeah.
That seems unfair.
Keep that private.
Yeah, well, let me and you. This is what me and Brad have always said about job interviews that drug test. It's like, no, let me and you look each other in the fucking eye, and we'll figure out if I work here. Let's just science out of this, you know.
Let's keep us out of it. Figure out, am I too fucked up right now? Just feel it out.
This is the amount of fucked up I'm gonna be when I'm here every day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get wasted. I'm not gonna be drunk. It is funny, man, because I feel like if I was a hiring guy, I would probably pick good people, you know? Like if I was like the hiring manager, I don't think I would need. First of all, I don't care if they do drugs, but I think like as a hiring manager, I could figure it out in like 60 minutes. You know? I'm pretty good judge of character. I've surrounded myself with some pretty good people. So I know how to. My entourage is very responsible and kind and cool. So I'm always okay. I don't really have an entourage though. It's like Katie and Gwen. But if me and Brett have an entourage, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, that is the show until the call-in show, which, hey, we haven't been... Here's the thing. This is call-in show season, right? On our call-in show, if you call in and we like your call, this is a completely random thing. We will send you a ham, or what's the other thing, a field roast?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll send you either a ham or a field roast. No other meats. Like, we're not, like... This is a Christmas ham or a Christmas
celebration roast,
and that's it. And here's the other thing. Please, we need you to call in. Keep us updated on Christmas days off and Christmas bonuses and things like that. This is Christmas bonus time of the year. It's time to start hearing what the people are getting, which I did. I can relay a few turkey things. A few people got turkeys. I saw.
Yeah.
Like just
right. That's
work
part
at,
of the
like a place.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I want to hear also some like street fight Christmas miracles. Somebody told me they found an 8-ball of cocaine in the woods on Halloween.
oh, I just heard some good news about a street fight miracle for Jason. I'm not gonna say it, but you had a miracle, you know. He found some stuff too.
Oh wow.
That's a wonderful thing to find too.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, geez.
Golly gee.
I would have to go out and buy this off of somebody, you know? This is great.
So thank you for listening to Street Fight Radio. If you want more of what we do beyond the 2 free podcasts each week, there's bonus content on patreon.com/Street Fight Radio. You can sign up for a monthly subscription, get access to bonus audio, bonus video. Right now we're doing Teen Fight Radio. That's Brian and I and his daughter Gwen talking to influential people about being a young person and what that was like. The episode with Kate Raft came out earlier this week.
Two big newses from that. Brett was still reeling the next day from me saying that I watched NYPD Blue when I was a little kid.
Yeah, well, okay, well, it was very informative to me that you were. How old were you? 9?
I think I was maybe 10 or 12.
When did it? 10 or 12.
I'll look it up while you're talking.
It's just that to think, and I get this a little bit, that you were like Well, I'm a thinking person, right? Like the critics say, this is a smash hit. I might as well check it out. And you actually still fall into the same traps, like decades later. You're still like, every time you're like, oh, everybody's talking about this new show. Everybody's talking about Watchmen. I gotta watch it. Everybody's talking about you cannot stay away from the.
Yeah, I was 14. Actually.
14.
Which is, I guess
you were like, you were going to be grown up.
Well, yeah,
I get
mean,
it.
We talked about this on.
You were smoking cigarettes, right?
Yeah, we talked about this on Team Fight. It was like, you know, you have this experience. Like, for me, it was coming to school in a Transformers t-shirt or a Transformers sweatsuit, like they sell for children back then. Like, I gotta preface this by adults did not wear Transformers shirt at that time.
Right. They didn't make them.
Yeah, they didn't.
You shouldn't be able to not get those at all.
Yeah, because adults like really didn't care about the Transformers.
Yeah.
But I wore them to school, and this kid walked up to me and said, "Are you wearing a fucking Transformers shirt?" And then I basically, from that day on, I was like, you know, it's time to grow up, Brian. You're a fucking man now. Can't wear the Transformers shirt anymore.
Yeah, time to read the paper. Time to start reading the paper and watch NYPD Blue.
Yeah, so
get a pair of loafers.
Yeah, well, no, I liked having good shoes.
Okay.
You know?
Well, loafers are nice shoes.
And then
for a distinguished guy that reads the Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah. Well, I read it. I started reading Entertainment Weekly when I was really young. I loved it. I would love it. I would look at, like, if I ever got to buy a magazine, I either bought a heavy metal one like Circus or Hit Parade or what's the other one? Well, I'd buy one of those, Rolling Stone, or I would buy an Entertainment Weekly.
Yeah.
I was just so into entertainment, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it just had pictures of like whoever was
Celebs.
popular at the time on it, and you're like, oh, I love that person, you know?
That's so cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to another episode of Street Fight. You can find us on social media. We're at Street Fight WCRS on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We're on Twitch at Street Fight Radio.
Get those variety show